I'm going to review Google Classroom as a tool for differentiated instruction. I picked this because it's user friendly, it's very compatible, it's a good communication tool. Google Classroom is. I've had a lot of success with this as well. The purpose of using Google Classroom in this demonstration or this scenario is to differentiate instruction. Although you can use it for a lot of other things as well. That's what I want to talk about here. You can look over here on the left. These are the two IST. Actually, I put three. All the designer standards really are kind of hit within this tutorial here for Google Classroom as a designer. And I'm using Screencast-O-Matic to create this video. Once again, I have my Google account open from the school that I teach at. So this is Classroom. This is what one of my 8th grade classes would have access to. If you look, there's numerous postings in this Google Classroom. They get posted throughout the year. A lot of them are just recordings of me teaching the lesson. I like to post them on Google Classroom so that if a student is absent or behind or something like that, they can get on and watch the lesson and get kind of caught up at home without getting too far behind. So I have pretty much all my lessons recorded on here. But here's an example of a differentiated instruction assignment that we made. This was a lesson teaching exponential functions, and so students kind of had to learn about exponential functions using these activities. So when they got onto their Chromebooks, they opened up their Google Classroom, and the first thing they were instructed to do was to pick, and actually for this one we assigned them. If you were at the back table were students that tended to struggle on the most previous quiz, and so we made this Surviving Zombies A a little bit easier, a little more review questions on here, and Surviving Zombies B would be students at the front two tables. Those are ones that did relatively well, and we figured they could move on to the next level of math for this assignment. So let's do Surviving Zombies A. This is actually a Google Doc that has instructions as to what they need to do to complete. So really this takes very little to no instruction from the teacher. The students can kind of self-do this, which kind of promotes that flipped classroom style of teaching here. So they get on, they read these instructions, they answer the following questions. Then they go to another teaching tool. This is a manipulative they can use, and they have to screenshot a graph, describe the shape, answer the following questions. Again, screenshot another graph that they make using that manipulative into this, and they answer this. When they finish this, they can share this with the teacher. When I made the Google Doc, I made so everyone had their own individual copy, and then they could just turn it into to me, and I could look over their work and see what they did and didn't understand. So this was like an hour-long activity. It took quite a bit of time for them to work on this. When they finished, probably the last 5 minutes of class, they go back into Google Classroom and completed this exit ticket. The exit ticket was same for both levels because in the end, the following were just things we wanted them to identify: a growth factor, a decay factor. They just might have had a little tougher questions in the Lesson B activity. Okay, and then best describing the graph. So there's the exit ticket. Obviously, you got to put your name and answer the questions and submit, and then that goes straight to the teacher as well, and we can see those instantaneous results as to whether or not kids are understanding this. So here's a small demo of how I use Google Classroom to do a differentiated teaching lesson.